Jai Hind everyone, welcome to the Patriotic IAS. These sessions include the news and news article and editorial of today's newspaper, mainly the Hindu newspaper, with relevance to the UPSC, state PCS and different competitive examination. So the major topic that we will cover for the today's session is this. We will start with the front page where the paper has covered the Nitish switch side it again. So this is a political news. However, we will try to know the basics with respect to the state legislature of the Bihar. Further, we will study the ease of justice and independence of judiciary that has been mentioned in the speech of our Chief Justice of India as well as our Prime Minister. Prime Minister has mentioned ease of justice, need for the ease of justice, and Chief Justice of India mentioned the independence of judiciary. That will help in the GS paper too, and whenever you have to analyze your answer with respect to the judiciary. Then there is news with respect to the preparation for the launch of INSAT 3DS. This will be very helpful in the GS paper 3 because this launch will help into disaster management as well, because there has been this provide the data forecasting and other things. So we will study about this GS paper 3. We will also study the cancer care that is being developed with respect to the different genome experiment. So it will be part of the GS paper 3 science and technology. Further, it has covered the acid rain. So we will know the basics about the acid rain. It is important with respect to the prelims examination as well as the mains. Okay. One more topic that has been covered is very important, Aadhaar based pay. So this is important with respect to the GS paper 2 with respect to the governance, where we see that what the issue that is being faced by the people who are enrolled in the Manrega, they are not able to get, and what are the benefits as well to Aadhaar based payment. Okay. After that, we will study. There has been a detailed analysis of the Chinese ties with the Africa. So it's become very important with respect to the international relation. It is, whenever we have to show India relation with the Africa, we generally compare with the China as well. So we will see that what is the stand of the China in the Africa, so that we can bring the pros and cons in our answer. After that, there has been the analysis with respect to the RBI guideline on the state guarantee. State give, like the someone go in the bank for the loan, there is need of the guarantees. Same, whenever the different state-owned companies goes into the bank for the loan or the any financial institution, they need the loan and the state become the guarantees. But many a times it's create the stress on the exchequer of the states. That's why it's become a physical deficit issue with respect to the state exchequer and state budget. So it's come under the GS paper 3 economy. Beside that, we will know the basic about the end-to-end inscription that has been covered. So this is the part of the basics GS3. Science and technology as well as the internal security and privacy related issues. So these will be all the major topic that we will cover. In between, we will also see the small topics where we will gather, we will collect some information so that we can use into the prelims examination. So let's start with the front page of the Hindu. The front page is about this shift of the Nitish Kumar to the BJP now, and now he has become the chief minister for the 9th times, just in this 15 year, okay, and 7 times with the BJP, 2 times with the RJD and Mahagathbandhan. So you should know the basics about that. The most important thing is that the legislature of the Bihar is bicameral. It has the state legislative assembly as well as the legislative councils. Only 6 states have the legislative council: Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Odisha, Telangana, UP. Okay. So Andhra and Telangana you can remember because they both were the part of the previously. Then Maharashtra and Karnataka, they are side by side. Odisha. So mostly it is the Deccan area where most of these bicameral system exists with the state. Bicameral system has the criticism as well as the support. Criticism is that it creates the pressure on the state exchequer. It is the wastage of the common person's money, and the supporting is that it provide the scope for the higher level of the debate. It's stop the hasty legislation. The different suggestions, the different positive point we give for the Rajya Sabha, that is apply for the state council as well. Same manner, it has some the difference in the power as well. So we will study all this thing in our polity session. Okay, so this, I hope this is visible now. Yes. So second important information is that the governor's power with respect to the summon, prorogue and dissolve. It is the governor who do the summon, prorogue and the dissolve. It is the speaker who do the sign, die, none. Okay. So you should remember all this thing. Member of Legislative Assembly, they are directly elected. One point nomination was there for the Anglo-Indian. Now that we have the abrogated that, repealed that provision. But still this Legislative Council have the nomination, 12 nomination from the governor. And the area of the literature, art, science, the same as we do it in the Rajya Sabha. So you can compare with that. We saw that कि खेला भी बाकी है by the Tejasvi Yadav, the former deputy chief minister. He said क्यों बोला ऐसा? Because the reason is that the total number of members is 243, and as per now, this RJD combined with the Congress and other supporting party, it has around 114 seats. And they thought that if the HAM has the 4 seats, this is the party of the Jitendra Maji, if he will shift to them, they will have the 118 member. Now, as per the 143, the half is needed for the majority, 122. So if you will include all this, they are the 114 plus 4, 118, and one independent was also there. So they were thinking that will shift with them, 119, and only they needed the 3 extra. They were expecting that some MLAs from the JDU, there is the chances that they will shift. So these were the basis of that the Tejasvi Yadav was of a bit confidence. So this is all about कि खेला भी बाकी है, खेला अब होगा. This is all about. Okay. Second important news that you should remember with respect to the development in the Nepal-China relation. There has been the comment from the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, that there will be the implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative very soon. So this shows the shift of the Nepal towards the China. So you can mention the recent statement from the Deputy Prime Minister in your answer whenever you are going to write your answer with respect to the India-Nepal and India-China triangle. Okay. Next important news is with respect to this environmental, from the environment, and you should know some basics. The tiger has been risked into the Illuru range. This is associated with this is mainly the Nagarjun Sri Salem Tiger Reserve. So you should know that where it is in the Andhra Pradesh, and it is the largest in the area for the tiger reserve into the India. Okay, so let's see what is the location of this in the map. Is it visible to you? This is the Sri Salem Tiger Reserve. This is in the Andhra. This is border, very close to the border with the Telangana. And you should also know this Nagarjun Sagar dam is also located. This is here. This is the also region for the tussle between the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And one more thing, this is the river that is passing through it. It is the Krishna River. So you should remember all this thing. It's at the Krishna River and Tungabhadra also meet here. Okay, so you should know this all the thing. This is the Nagarjun Sagar. Okay, so this is all about Nagarjun Sagar. Let me show you that this is the Nagarjun Sagar. Okay, where is this? Yes, this is the Nagarjun Sagar. This is the Krishna that is passing through it. This is the river Krishna. Okay, so it is the, this is the dispute. This is exactly at the border with the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. One important thing you need to know is this. Okay, the second thing you need to know, this Krishna river, this cuts through this Nagarjun Sri Salam Tiger Reserve. This is the largest. One thing you should remember. The other thing you should know, that is very good thing for India. This is this laughing girls. They are spotted into the Chittari estuary. This is in the Kerala. Very it is in the Kannur district. Okay, so they have the unique type of the voice, and they are known for their unique laughter like calls. They you can see in the video that how they call their voices. Next important news that we will see is with respect to, yes, there was a controversy with respect to this uh, UGC chairman guideline that was pronounced that wherever there is the seats from the SC, ST community and OBC community, and if they are not filled up, they will de-reserve, and it will be taken from the general category. So there was the opposition that you are diluting the reservation policy and affirmative action. So this guideline has been withdrawn. So this is about this. So whenever you have to mention something about the Article 1516, you can use. The forest right, you should know. This article talking about the forest right can influence the poll result. This impact, if the implementation of this forest right has been the matter of the debate, because lot of people, these forest developer people, they have not got the title under this forest act. This forest act provide the legal right over the forest land, and they have the occupied for the generation. Means if you are living in the forest for the 3 generation and you are considered under the tribal community, you have the right on the produce, minor produce, as well as there are some special power to the Gram Sabha. For example, if there is, they have to decide how they have to transfer the land from the forest to the non-forest thing. It will be the final decision of the Gram Sabha. Okay. So it laid down the criteria under the tribal inhabitant can claim their title of their land. This is the thing. The complete name of this act is the Scheduled Tribe and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Their Rights Act 2006. So it was considered a very crucial development law with respect to the protecting the rights of STs, scheduled caste tribal. We have found that lot of even the non-tribal people who are living in this forest area, they will get benefited if we are going to implement this law. So this has given the figure that how much people have received this land entitlement under this. Okay. So you should know this is important, that the implementation of this is not smooth. Next important news that we will take with respect to our syllabus is the speech given by Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud. Okay, so he is talking about the independence of judiciary. He has mentioned some of the principles that we need to adopt if we want to achieve the independence. The first, he is talking about the independence of judiciary from the political interference. First is this. Second is that the interpretation of the constitution should not be that much rigid that reflect the rigidity of the Supreme Court. There should be the accommodation of the changing need of the society. So it should reflect that this constitution is the living organism as envisaged by our founding fathers like the Dr. Ambedkar and Nehru, that it will be the living organism. So its interpretation makes it the living organism. Beside that, these judges need to be came out of their own biases. For example, whenever you do take decisions, you have your social biases, means you have some perception with respect to the transgender or the person who belong from the some community such as the gay community or the lesbian community or the some of the religious community. You have preconceived bias that you get with the your upbringing or the with respect to the social interaction. So whenever your judgment is there, it should not be impacted by all these biases. So he is talking about, and beside that he is talking that there should be the respect into the eyes of people. Your conduct, the judges' conduct should be like that. They should own the legitimacy into the eyes of the people. So here it has mentioned that we try to unlearn these judges their subconscious attitude inculcated by the social conditioning on the gender, disability, race, caste, sexuality. So each person, due to their interaction in the society, they have some preconceived thought with respect to the different communities. So all need to be removed. Okay. Here it has mentioned that the Supreme Court's core function was that of the final arbiter between the, it could be the two state, center and state, and state was the legitimate and in accordance with the rule of law. So the exercise of power by the state to know that whether this, check that. So this is the work of the judiciary. Beside that, it has mentioned, he has mentioned that there is the need to improvement, like the problem of pendency is there, and this can be resolved only by the radical change in the decision making and within the court to stop it from the becoming dysfunctional. So he has mentioned that few of the area where there could be the improvement, like we can reduce the vacations such as the winter vacations, summer vacations, a lot of vacations that is given to the judges during the functional period. So he has mentioned the first Chief Justice was the Harilal J. Kanya, and yes, this inauguration was on the commemoration of this first sitting of the Supreme Court of India in the 26th January 1950. One more thing you got from the Modi ji, that Modi ji has said that we need to ease of justice, like we need ease of business, ease of living, like we need to ease of the justice. So you can mention whenever you are going to write. You should also mention this hybrid hearing is being adopted. Hybrid hearing means the in the online mode as well as the physical appearance is needed. So that is the giving a impetus for the speedy delivery of the justice, as well as the use of the online filing and other such activity has made the ease to the justice. Beside that, you can mention the development of this digital Supreme Court reports. So this is providing cases on the online mode. So all this thing you can mention your in your answer that how the reforms has been done, steps taken to improve the judicial function, as well as what are the areas still we need to work upon. So all this can make your answer better. One more development, this north is to get first naturopathy hospital. So one point you can get that whenever you have to like the development of the northeast, you can mention this. Yes, Union Ayush Minister have started this Research Institute of Yoga and Naturopathy, and this is in the Dihing Kham, Khamti Ghat in the Assam. Okay, Dibrugarh. So this Dihing is the river tributaries of the Brahmaputra. So you should know this Dihing river, and this comes from the left bank of the, yes, left bank of the Brahmaputra. So the Bing, yeah, it is here. Okay, Dibrugarh is here, Tinsukia, and this is the Brahmaputra. So you should be knowing this path of the river and the tributaries that Dhansini is here. Okay. Sabansiri is here. Manas is here. And Tista is here. So you should be knowing all these three words. Okay. One more point you should have with respect to this Germany seeks the intergovernmental deal for the submarine with India. So you should know what is this. The project India is executing with respect to the acquiring submarine is the Navy P-75I procurement program. So this program is very important. You should remember with respect to the prelims as well as with respect to the mains. And the marine that we want to take is from the ThyssenKrupp marine system from the Germany. And the deal is being progressed under the strategic partnership between the India and Germany in the defense procurement procedure. So you should mention all these things. It gives that yes, we have the strategic partnership with the France as well as Germany. So these are the important points you can use whenever you are going to talk about the India-Germany relationship. Next important point or news we are going to take is with respect to this preparation for the launch of the INSAT 3DS, and it will be helpful you in the GS paper 3. By the mistake I have written GS paper 2 and science and technology, so please correct it. So where it will help? It will help in the graphic data as well as the automatic weather station and augment weather forecasting capability. So it will get the data from the automatic weather stations and it will do the forecasting as well as it will make the distress signal and alert detection for the search and risk service with the global receiver. Means they will provide the some of the instrument with the different category of the people like the fisherman and those who are army who are guarding the coast guard army as well as those ship who are in the trade uh, passing this transportation, the cargoes from the one country to other country. And if they are facing some of the issue like the issue that now we are facing in the Red Sea, attack from the Houthis, if there is any of this, so there could be the transmission of the distress signal and army will get the this security forces on the naval they will get and they will provide the risk operation whenever needed. So yes, it will be launch on the GSLV F14. So you should remember this. Okay, already we have this two INSAT category of the satellite, this INSAT 3D and INSAT 3DR that is capable of this INSAT system, making the capability. This launch will further improve the capability of this meteorological satellite and meteorological data collection and weather forecasting and disaster warning system. So this will help in this area. So you should know all about this. Next important news that we are going to take is with respect to this genome revolution in the cancer care. So cancer care, what we are doing the genome sequencing so that we can trace the cause and we can provide the effective medication. So here you should know that this cancer disease that is associated with the genetics as well, and we know this precision oncology that is the treatment given. So this the genome sequencing, for example, the UK is doing a ongoing 1 lakh genome program. Under that they are going to sequence the genomes of the 1 lakh people, and they already have done sequencing of the 13,800 cancer patient. So this will give the how we can make the this detection and medication of cancer in a more effective manner. Okay, so like the breast cancer and ovarian cancer, they are associated with the genetic, inherent genetic, and they transfer from the one generation to the other generation. Okay, so this is all about. The most important thing on this page we will study is with respect to this acid ran. So you should know what is the acid ran. This is associated with the this combination of sulfur dioxide and oxide of nitrogen. Okay, they combined with the water droplet of the rainfall, and whenever there is the precipitation, they they do the reaction in the presence of the oxygen molecule. Okay, and H2SO4 and nitric acid HNO4, they are known as the acid that, and they have the corrosive character, means they corrode the material as well as the plant, and that's why this impact on the our vegetation as well as this destroy the soil bacteria, that many of the bacteria they are helpful in the cropping pattern, cultivation. Okay, these also impact the forest productivity as well as the ecosystem. Okay, and they also impact the diversity into the rivers, lakes, wherever the water system is there, and they make this environmental, this habitation inhospitable for the species, and this is causing the extinction of the many of the species. That's why this is all about, you should know that this is this acid and this emission of sulfur dioxide is also natural. This is not always artificial. This is not always due to the transportation like the emission, or due to the use of the crude oil or the industrial emission, but this is natural because they are produced when the volcanoes erupt and when the lightning passes through the atmosphere. Okay, but the amount is less, but the due to the this fossil fuel used in the transportation and the power generation, this has increased in many fold, and that is impacting, that is not able to recuperate this nature by itself. It has increased the concentration of this sulfur dioxide as well as the oxide of nitrogen. So you should know this. Next important is with respect to the India-France relation, that this is the just summary. Already we have covered this, what we have done between the India and France, that we already have agreed to the joint production of the military hardware and cutting edge technology. Just it is a brief and recap of whatever we have studied till now. Like we are about to deal for the purchase of the aircraft engine submarine. So you should remember that we are dealing in the this area, aircraft engine and submarines, and also we are agreed on the cooperation in the area of agriculture, precision agriculture, digital health and science, as well as the technology cooperation. Okay, so what is the program as per the defense industrial roadmap? That we are going to co-design, co-develop and co-produce defense hardware, as well as the space defense partnership will be there. So this will help in the close combined and co-development, co-design, as well as it will not provide the security in the military and the defense area, but also it will provide us the opportunity to export our military equipments and hardware, so it could be more sustainable. Beside that, we have seen that the business to business deal means two private players. One is the Tata from the India, and from the France it is the Safran, and they are going to produce this helicopter, civilian helicopter, and it is the first business to business deal between the India and France. So this is all about, and this shows that this mutual respect for the strategic autonomy is growing between India and France. You should remember. This news article is a total events that is going on in the global stage as well as at the Indian stage. Like it is talking about the Hamas-Israel war, this NATO and Ukraine, NATO, Russia, that is going in the this Central Asia and Russian area. So this is talking how the world has become a bit more insecure. Further, this is talking about the Chinese aggression in the South China Sea and the recent result in the Taiwan elections, that is going to make the China more aggressive, as well as the countries in the Southeast Asia like the Philippines will assert their claim on the South China Sea. So the thing will become more difficult to control, and here we will show that the China and US, there will be a tussle to claim that they are their dominance area. So US will try to reclaim its area, and resurgence from the China will be seen in the this South East Asia as well as this, and this will impact the India as well. Here it is talking about how India should behave. We have seen the wolf warrior diplomacy. Wolf warrior diplomacy. We have seen that this is in the context of the China, that whenever the China is accused of anything, like the for the COVID-19, they start to rejecting all this allegation. They never accept, and then they never show that yes, there was the mistake and they are improving on that. They always show that yes, they were not responsible. The world accuse China because of they don't want to China to flourish, something like the thing, and this is not good. So in the case of India, we have seen this, as many of the export says that the India also shows such wolf warrior diplomacy with respect to the Maldives. So India should not go for such diplomacy. India should go with the its neighborhood first policy and Gujarat doctrine. So yes, further it is talking about the relation with the Bhutan, where the China is making a lot of effort to woo Bhutan to come in its domain, because Bhutan has always shown that its inclination toward the India is still. Bhutan has not accepted this Belt and Road initiative of the China. So here it is giving a suggestion that the India always should make a special effort with respect to the Bhutan. So this is all about that is has been mentioned in this article. So next article we will take is with respect to the Manrega. Here there is the Aadhaar based pay system for the Manrega that has been announced by the government. But the thing is that this here the writer is expressing its apprehension with respect to this Aadhaar based payment system, because as per the government data itself, lot of people who is yet not have been the seeded, like the here the data has given out of 25.6 crore registered worker, only 16.9 crore have eligible for the. So that's created a difficulty. Beside that, it is talking about the in the Aadhaar system there is lot of technical chances of the technical glitch. Like the in the Aadhaar number, they must be mapped to the correctly through the bank branch here. Okay. So you should see that the first is to start with that Aadhaar number must be seeded with the job card. The first thing is that. Okay. After that, after that what is needed, this job card detail should be matched with the Aadhaar database. Okay, wherever if in this process wherever there is the glitch, the worker will not get the money will be not transferred through this. Their Aadhaar must be linked to the Aadhaar bank account. Okay, and further this bank account will be considered that bank account that has been the lastly added. Okay, so there has been the incorrectness in the above any of this process, there will be they will be denied their money, and it's create a lot of problem for the worker who do this job on a daily basis for their livelihood. We have seen in the many of the state government still have not paid for their Manrega workers for the 1 years. There is the pending payment of 1 years. It has mentioned that the different administrative units are involved in the creating different documents, and then this in this process there is the chances of spelling mistake, and whenever there is the mismatch of spelling, even a small mistake, all this go to the field. There could be the deletion of this job card from the government list. So this is creating a lot of hurdle. That's why it is asking that the government should go for the both mod, not only it should rely on the this Aadhaar pay based mod, but the account based mod is also, it should be the transparent, and it is suggesting that there should be the social auditing as well. Next important news is with respect to the Chinese relation with the Africa. So how the China is approaching toward towards the Africa. So why Africa is important for the China? So here it has mentioned that what is the context? The context, historical context, start with here. The relation, here we are going to study the China-Africa relation. You should know that how the China approaching for the Africa, how the India approaching for the Africa. What are the lead point for the China? Here we will see, and that's why we can write a holistic answer whenever it's come the Chinese presence in the Africa, and how India should approach for that. So this is started with the Chinese relation because the China supported several of African liberation movement during the Cold War. So this is the ideological support that is start. Then African countries support this China for its getting the UN Security Council, as well as recognition of the China mainland as the representation of the China, not the Taiwan. It is only in the 1999 when the China started the economic entry, like the investment in the Africa, as it's a go out policy. So this you should remember, it is the 1999, very late, despite it is leading due to the its continuous and rigorous work in the African area. Now this news is with respect to the China-Africa leader dialogue that was held in the 2023, and this is started in the 2000, this forum of the China Africa cooperation. So this is the context that is started in 2000, and it's aimed to the consolidate China Africa cooperation under diplomacy, investment and the trade. This is the aim of the forum of the China Africa cooperation. Okay, China becomes important for the Africa because it's helping Africa for the industrialization, agriculture modernization, as well as skilling. This cooperation on the talent development by the skilling. So India is also doing the same thing, but the skill of China is a bit higher because China has a large pocket. Okay. So in the 2013, when the Belt and Road Initiative started, this African countries got lot of money investment. Like the between the 2000 to 2022, there has been the 170 billion granted to the 49 African countries. So this is the benefit of the African country getting from the China. Okay. We have also seen the Chinese naval base. The first it's come into the Djibouti. Djibouti as the Horn of Africa. You must remember this Djibouti. And yes, Africa, why Africa is important for the China? Because Africa supplies 90% of the world cobalt, platinum and 75% of the coltan. They are all essential for the electronics devices. And China has the largest refinery in the Africa for the rare earths and minerals. So this is the raw material that is Africa is providing to the China. Do you able to link it the colonization, new colonization, what the Britishers started with India? They started with the raw material they were taking to the England, and they were bringing the finished product for the Indian market. So India was the market as well as it was the source for the raw material. This Africa, so do you see the same pattern? And here the tussles comes with the US, because US it makes the US dependable on the Chinese minerals from the Africa. So that's why this is the one of the core area where the Chinese and the US conflict arise. Okay, one thing, this is the utility of the Africa. Why the China become important for the African? One thing is that this in the UN General Assembly, Africa is the largest bloc, and it has the power that it can vote in the support of the China. And we have seen that in the South China case, Taiwan case, one China case, in all cases they have given support to the China. So that's make the Africa useful for the China. Besides that, there is the strengthening of the Chinese currency due to the most of the trade now that is going with these African countries is in the yuan. This is the renminbi, RMB. This is the Chinese currency. So this is the other area. Here you can bring the criticism of this African, this Chinese investment, because there could be the issue of the debt trap that we have seen in the case of the Kenya and Zambia, as the Western countries also making the causes of this African country, that you should be careful about the Chinese loan, because there could be the debt trapping. Okay, so there was the recently we have seen that the Zambia 4.1 billion loans. This was restructured, and it was mainly restructured with the lower Chinese interest and depreciation of African local currency. Okay. So this gives the then maybe stand on the alternative to the dollar. Africa import largely from the China. Okay, finished good. Okay, this is the pattern of the neo-colonialism. Okay, are you able to clearly see this picture? So if you summarize what the Africa receive investment, trade and development aid from the China in resource in the return of the natural resource. This is the whole summary of the China-Africa relation. Okay. This China has provided an employment opportunity as well here, and made in Africa they have given this slogan, and the Chinese support is also helping them into the hybrid crop that has helped the African agriculture sector. So you should use this, that they are working in the this agriculture sector as well. They are providing support for the agriculture. This is all about that the Chinese, how they are dominating in the Africa. What are the Indian approach should be, that we should again we don't have that much pocket as the China has. So what we should do, we can collaborate with the Japan, and we can develop. We already have the people to people contact, and we know that the Guardian movement that started in the South Africa against the this apartheid, and we can also bring this initiatives such as the Sagar that we should develop, and the most important thing, the implementation part where the India lacks, we should try to implement on a time bound manner. This should you can bring, or you can bring points with respect to India, China and Africa if there is the triangle comparison. There has been the guideline from the RBI with respect to the guarantees provided from the states to the different bodies, such as their PSUs, state PSUs, and the local bodies and cooperatives. Okay, so state provide this guarantee in this area. Okay, what is this? Like whenever you go to take the loan in the bank or the any financial institution, like the non-banking financial institution, you get that what you get, you have to bring some collateral, and also you need to provide some guarantor that if you will not able to pay, for example, you approach the bank, okay, so for the money, so you have to submit the collateral as well as the guarantee, collateral and guarantee. Okay, guarantee. So in the way that there are the lot of institutions such as the state PSUs and cooperatives, they also need the money from the bank and commercial of institutions. In that case, it is the state that provides the guarantee. Normal condition, this is there is no issue if they are taking something, they are investing in the capital formation, they are producing and they are going to pay. This is good thing. But many a time in the distress case, when they are not able to pay, all liability comes to the this state, and state exchequer get stressed. In that case, the RBI has came up with the guideline that there should be the ceiling, that what should be the limit of providing the guarantee. Like recently we have saw that 10% of the GDP and budgetary amount they have provided the guarantee. So this is excessive. That's why it has come with the guarantee that yes, whenever you are going to provide this guarantee, it should not exceed the 5% of the revenue received of the government or the 0.5% of the state GDP, so that there could be the security. We can provide the security that suddenly if there is the high risk in the case of this fiscal management, it should not state finance should not collapse. There should be the always the cushion. Okay, so and they have provided that they shouldn't provide in the such a cases where there is the external borrowing, and also this borrowing amount if exceeding 80%, states shouldn't provide the guarantee, and it shouldn't provide to the private sector and the companies. It should always confine to the state companies and the state sectors, state sector bodies and their undertakings. Okay, so this is all about that has been provided in this news, that how the guarantee should be provided, so that it should be the confined to the principal amount and normal interest, not should be go for the other area such as the security associated with that or the collateral associated with that. It should not extend to the that area also, and they should always consider the budgetary resource, and it should not like that you are giving some of the budgetary resource and your scheme is there, state scheme is there, you are not able to provide under the budgetary resource, you are asking some of your state undertakings to do the thing and take the loan, we will provide the guarantee. By any way you are going to breach the this fiscal deficit limit that has been provided under the Fiscal Deficit and the Budget Management Act.